most important lessons I've learned in the past 6 years of being a nomad. I made a list. Now, today it's almost 90 degrees here in this city, and I'm at 7,000 elevation. Summer is here. It's here. I've got my fan going, I've got my sliding door open, and I've got my other door open. So that's the only way I can survive right now. I do have, I'm wetting myself down, yeah. And I got my fan going. It's the only way I can survive here. Or I'm gonna have to find higher elevation. Yeah, let's get this. Well, the most important lessons I've learned, let me go with just number one. Let's just get right to it, okay? Have an emergency fund. And I do have my eyes. I got eyes, everybody. But because I've got all the windows open, I just want to protect the sensitivity of my eyes. So I hope you don't mind. I just want to have these on for now. But I do have eyes. I had somebody mention one time, they said, well, I don't like it when you wear your sunglasses because it's like you're not connecting. I promise I'm connecting with you, and I know you're out there. Number one, have an emergency fund. You must have an emergency fund. Those are lessons I learned. When I first bought my minivan 6 years ago, I spent a lot of my savings that I thought I had so many savings saved up. But when I bought my van, I was a little bit low, and I went across country to go stay with my daughter for a few months. I went right to work. I really did. And I needed to get that back up because I knew that I was going to come across the country again. Get your savings going. You must, if you're going to do this lifestyle, you must have an emergency fund because you could run into trouble. Okay, lesson learned. Number two, maintain your rig. It's your home. You must maintain it. You're going to hear a lot of ambient noise because I'm basically kind of outside. Basically, yeah. So you need to check your fluids often. That one time I was in Tucson and I told you about it. My air conditioner didn't work. My thermostat didn't work. And Paul and I drove to where we were going to park for the night. Well, I could tell that, oh my gosh, something's not right. And I had to hurry there. That's a fast one, yeah. Paul and I were just mentioning, there's not that many trains here today. But no, they've been making up for lost time the past hour. Okay, the train is gone now. It's past. It's carrying a lot of semi-trailers. Yeah, our goods. Yeah. Well, what happened is I hurry up and got there. It wasn't that far away, but I'm glad I did. And then in the morning I checked. I had no water in my radiator. So what happened was I had it towed. They found that there was a little piece that in Kias, for some reason they use these little plastic pieces. Well, it eventually had broke. So they had to order another piece. I got it done. I got my van back that night, right before they closed. I got it back, but yeah, I had run out of all my fluids. So I almost think it's better just to check your fluids once a day, daily. Check your fluids because you just never know. And also change your oil regularly. You will get a lot more years out of your engine if you change your oil. I say, and what Scotty Kilmer says, if it's synthetic, change it every 5,000 miles. Don't wait. Sometimes you can get these certificates for like 10 oil changes or whatever, 5, but they say every like 10,000 miles. That's because they don't want to do it that often. It's really synthetic by Scotty Kilmer every 5,000 miles. He said your engine will last a lot longer if you do that. Okay, now we got a helicopter. Oh my God. Funny. Here's a big one, and I had to learn the hard way. Be careful who you befriend. Be careful. They can really turn out to be creepy people and harm you. And then Paul added in, don't take anybody just for face value. When you're a nomad, you're going to be meeting people all the time. Don't take anybody for face value. They need to be tried and tested out. A good friendship. Yeah. So that was a big lesson. And more than once. And it's really sometimes hard to learn, because if you're an open person, yeah, you can really get fooled pretty easy over and over. Okay. Here's something I learned. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I learned that it's more fun to travel with someone than it is to be solo. I learned that the easy way. Yeah, it's more fun to travel with Paul than to travel alone. I mean, I still do need my alone time, right? But we can do it. You know, we can take little breaks from each other. I just want to, yeah, I wet it down. Hope you don't mind me grooming myself. I mean, I'm grooming, yes. But also, there's stipulation to that. Make sure that you have the same travel styles. And I want to talk about travel styles. Travel styles, get to a destination quickly versus take your time. There's two different kinds of styles on that. Me, I'm a get on the highway, go, and then those are more vacation styles. I'm going on vacation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from my home, and if I was a nomad, I'm going to go from my home, and I'm going to get there, and then I'm going to enjoy my vacation. But the other style is to go slowly. They like to meander. They like to stop often, and they like to see things along the way. They're considered more travelers and are tourists. They want to be more touristy. And then another style is some use highways, some use the byways. So to get to your destination, more of those people would use the highways, and the people who want to meander would use the byways. I don't like the byways. I've mentioned that a lot of times. I like to use the highways. If I have car trouble, then it's easier on the highway to get somebody to come and check on you. I feel a little safer. I recently had somebody say, well, our styles are so different. I feel more comfortable in small towns. She said, small town people are more friendly. I'm going to disagree. They're friendly, and people in cities are friendly too. I mean, it depends on the people. But here's what I have found about small towns. You stick out like a sore thumb. If you are a foreigner, you're not a citizen, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And especially, I just feel like I would stick out like a sore thumb. And I find that in a town like that, a small town, that I find more crooked cops. Policemen, if there's a ticket to be given, they're going to give it more to the foreigner than they are the actual local. And I experienced this. When I was still living in Ohio and I was working, I was waiting for my husband to come back from Germany, and I was working. I lived in a very, very small town. Well, there was a guy that hit me, but I got cited because they knew each other. It wasn't until State Farm, they did a major investigation, and it was totally the guy's fault. So there's where I learned my lesson. You can say, well, that's not my experience, but I'm going to go with what I know. And I say, no, small towns bother me. And I noticed that, like, just sometimes you go through a small town, like going from Las Vegas up to Reno. You're going through all these small towns, and I swear, you can go 65, 70, right? And all of a sudden, bam, there's this little town. They have the speed limit at 25. And it's so long, you have to go 25 miles an hour and you just know that Jim and his brother-in-law are sitting there with the speed guns. And I've heard people that have to travel that up on 95 going up. That they say, oh yeah, I think it's 95 or whatever the highway is, yeah. They say, yeah, I got pulled over and yeah, because they were going 28. So I'm sorry, I don't trust them. I really don't. I like my highways, yeah. I feel safer on a highway. A lot more people around. And then, of course, some people you want, if you're going to be traveling with somebody, what other styles would be? Do they like to boondock on BLM land, go out boondocking? Or do they like to do the urban nestling, urban camping? You know, yeah. And then, of course, they also like to move around often. And I'm just not talking about traveling and taking their time and then get there, right? I'm talking about they want to go all the time. Okay, well, next we're going to this national park. Oh, and then in 3 weeks we're going to go. That you have to have the same. If that's what they want to do, you've got a great, and you like to do it, that's a great travel partner. But that wouldn't be that wouldn't be me. So it's more fun, I found, and I realized that it's more fun to travel with somebody and keep each other kind of safe and look out for each other. But you got to have the same travel styles. You just have to. And when you find that and it's a good match, hang on to it. Yeah. Okay, next. You got to stay organized. That's the most important lesson I ever learned. You must. I mean, I'm an organized person anyways, right? But here's what happened. If there's ever a time that I kind of get out of it, I can't find anything. I have met people that are very disorganized in their van, in their rig. And what happens is they can't find things because they're not organized. And then what happens is they need something. They can't find it without tearing everything apart. So they go to Walmart and they buy it again. When it comes down to it, then when they finally, maybe a year later, organize, they find they have 5 rolls of the same tape, or they have 20 reading glasses, or yeah. So you really end up spending more money and carrying more weight. What I have found the biggest lesson in being a nomad, because you're living in a small space, be organized. Yes. Have some downloaded movies. That's the most important lesson I've learned. I've had to go to libraries and just sit there and download, maybe buy movies and download them. Now, some of you like to carry DVDs, and that's fine. And then what you have is a little portable DVD player. I used to have that for my granddaughter when I would drive her around, and I had it I had a little holder for the back of my seat, the headrest. And she would sit behind me, and I would put on a movie for her, yeah. And you could go to the library and get DVDs if that's the case, if you're in the home. But when you're a nomad, for me, it's just as easy just to buy them and download them onto my phone. And that way I have a movie, because you're not always going to have cell coverage. You're going to find yourself out, even in a town. You could have T-Mobile. Well, T-Mobile works in some places, but not others. And you're like, oh man, I can't watch any movies tonight. What am I going to do? Yeah, and you just want to relax and just like watching TV. You want to relax and watch TV. So get buy some movies and download them. Or get your DVDs, yeah. Sometimes it's easier just to buy them and download them and keep them on your phone. What I do is I have my 7 Plus phone. Don't get rid of your old phones if you can't resell them. This is 7 Plus. I mean, I was going to buy this. I can't even update it anymore. But I do have movies that I bought, and they're downloaded on here. Now, if it comes to the point where this is such an old, in about 3 years, I'm not even going to be able to probably watch movies on here because the software is going to be so different. Well, then what I'll do is I'll download them all onto here. Yeah, if I have room onto here. So, but the point is, download onto something, one of your phones. Yeah. Carry plenty of water. Yeah. I carry 7 jugs, and I try to keep them filled up the best I can. I might be down to like 5 or 4. It's time to go fill them back up. I want to, if anything happens, the sheet hits the fan or something, and I need to get out of town quickly, I want to have my water, right? And I think the same with gas. Gasoline, your fuel, keep your tank filled up. Keep it filled. Use hand sanitizer often. Oh yeah, because some of you in RVs, you got sinks, but you're still going to be using your water, and then you're going to have gray water. You don't always want to just run water, even in an RV. You want to have hand sanitizer. When you come out of Walmart, just give yourself a nice hand sanitizer. Yeah. After you cook or before you cook, get out your hand sanitizer. You don't want to get sick. Yeah. Which brings me to another point. Lessons I've learned being a nomad. If you think something, a food product, is spoiled, dump it. Just dump it. Don't even take the chance. It really sucks being ill inside of a small space. It just does. Don't attempt it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You know, just go into the store and get something else. Yeah. Let someone know where you are, no matter what. If you're going to be out hiking, no matter where you go, if you're traveling alone, let someone know where you are. And let them know at all times. Let them know at all times. Paul follows me, find my friends. My daughter follows me, find my friends. And my good friend Kathy follows me. She always knows where I'm at. I don't follow her, but she follows me, and that's okay. I don't need to know where she's at. She's in a home. But I want my friends to know, just in case there's a problem, I want them to know where I'm at. Yeah. Good lesson. Know your rights when you're pulled over. You need to know your rights if you're pulled over by an officer. My biggest scare, and I'm going to tell you every detail about it, but my biggest scare was in going through El Paso, coming from Ohio, and I took the southern route, and I was pulled over by a border patrol. They have Uber authority 100 miles around the entire perimeter of the United States. Border patrol. And they can pull you over, and if they suspect anything, they can take your car into custody, tear it apart, and they won't be gentle about it, right? Well, I was pulled over, and it terrified me, right? Well, know your rights. I didn't know my rights until after that. I just didn't. So, never again. I will not answer questions. I will not. And I will not give permission to go in. No, I'm not going to do that. And I'll say, I need your supervisor here immediately. I have no prior, what do you call that? No prior, arrest or anything. I have no record. No prior record. Yeah, I've nothing. I've never been arrested or anything like that. He had no real authority or reason. Quieted down a little bit. Yeah. So know your rights. You must know your rights, and know the law and follow the law for guns, for firearms, for each state you're traveling in. Very important. I mean, you could get your firearm taken from you, and they're expensive. I'm trying to buy another one. If they want you to, you must go on and Google it. You'll find it. The gun laws in California, the gun laws in Oklahoma. Google it and find out. And if you're going through that state, find out what it is and follow it. You know, why get anxiety? It's like, ooh, I got my gun out. Oh, what do I do? You know, that's not good. Then you're always worried that you're going to get pulled over. No, just play it safe and follow what they say. Have your phone handy at all times. Yes. Be careful when traveling alone and keep your phone handy within reach at all times. Have a means of communication within reach, and I'll tell you why. Paul was traveling alone, and I believe he was in Utah area. He told me about it later. He goes, well, I didn't really want to worry you, but he fell, and he was stunned. I mean, he thought, oh dear, now I've hurt myself, and he's alone, and his phone was in his car. Yeah. He tripped over Abby's cable. He tripped over that. Yeah. And he went down. So, lesson learned. Because I asked him about that, and I remembered. He goes, yes, this is something that I would say that most important thing I've learned is to always have your phone in your pocket or on you. Yeah, because you could fall and you could run into trouble. I have noticed recently that I think, oh, I'm going to go into Walmart. Oh, I don't need my phone. I don't need my list or anything. Take your phone. What if there's a shooting in there? What if there's a problem? What if something caves in and you need to communicate? Take your phone. I think it's also good to carry a flashlight with you. Yeah. Have a flashlight with you and have your phone. Because you never know. I remember reading about that in Israel, in Jerusalem. I mean, remember the time when there were a lot of bombings and things like that? Everybody always had this little like a little package with them. You know, a lighter and a flashlight and a means of communication and a little bit of a rope, like some cordage. Yeah, because people, they would get buried under, if there was a bombing and they get buried, they needed to communicate and get out. So I think it's important to have your phone at your hip at all times. Follow your instincts. If you're in a new place and you're even in the same city, but you're in a new area and you're parking or whatever, follow your instincts. If you feel like you need to leave, leave. Yeah. And even if you go into a new city, the one city that I found, seriously, that I found a little bit, I don't know why, and we had a good friend there, and it was wonderful. We were so happy to visit her. But it was Cheyenne. There was a weird vibe in Cheyenne. There really was. It was the most unfriendly Planet Fitness. The people seemed to be unfriendly. There was a weird vibe. We didn't stay long, and we wanted to be with our friend more, but it was just, we felt, oh my gosh, we just need to leave. Don't eat food. Oh, I already mentioned that. Really, one of the big things, don't eat food that you suspect is spoiled, or if you question food at all, dump it. Don't eat it. Being sick in your van. And another thing that I've learned is always have your bucket ready with a bag in it, because if you somehow get sick, you're going to vomit, or you have to do number 2, and you need to do it quickly. You got something, food poisoning. Keep that handy at all times. Okay. Well, these are the things that I've learned. They're good suggestions, but these are things that I have learned. You're going to meet people out there. Don't take anybody at face value, and just be careful and keep your doors locked. Keep your doors locked. There's all these. We've gone through safety. I'll leave at the end of this video. I'll leave a couple of videos that have to do with this, and one of them will be safety. It'll be a more recent one, safety, that Paul and I did. So, well, thanks for spending time with me today. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I still got a few of these. I love these. The purple and green tie-dye. It's just wonderful. I did have my bathing suit on, my lime green. I still have my bottoms on, and this kind of goes with it too, with the green and the purple. Yeah. So I do have different types of neck gaiters. Go to minivanlee.com, and it's on sale. And yeah, if you're going to get them, I would get them now. and put them away if you want to wait till winter. But I wear mine all summer because I can wet this down, and with that fan going there, it cools me down. Yeah. And oh, I got the book, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway. Yeah, it is somebody asked me, let me explain this. Somebody left a comment and she says, well, Lee, I love your channel, but I have a question. Why did your book go up in price? I've seen cheaper books. In fact, the Big Daddy of Nomad has a book out, and it's on sale now for less than even $6. Well, let me explain. And I have that book. That was one of the first books I bought. But it skims over the whole system. It just skims it over. I enjoyed reading it. I really did. It got me excited. But it's not going to get you there. It won't get you there. It was written a long time ago. My book is extensive. It will get you from A to Z, to thinking about it and then organizing it, getting it going with lists, all the way to living the life. It's very extensive. And the reason that the price went up was because we all got letters from Amazon and any authors who had books that were going to be printed. The printing costs have gone sky high. We all know, right? Food prices have gone up. Produce prices have gone up 80% over the past year. Unbelievable, right? Printing costs, shipping costs. Oh, shipping costs have been. These are all shipped free, but yeah, they've gone up and they keep going up. Just a little piece of cloth like this in a little package is about $6. I'm not kidding. So printing costs have gone up. Everything's gone up. So yes, our prices did go up by decisions. I mean, I could have brought the price back down, but I would have made maybe $1 off of a book. No. And it's a way to support me anyway. So I just wanted to address that. And I did answer her, and she said, thank you. But that's reality, everybody. Everything's going up. So, but if you want to get the ebook, it's at $9.99, and that never goes up. Amazon will not allow that to go up. No ebook is more expensive than $9.99, and that's the way it is. Yeah. So if you want the ebook, go for it. Yeah. And I really don't make much off of an ebook, but it sure would help you, wouldn't it? And it would make a wonderful gift for somebody too. So okay, the book, How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway. It's on Amazon. Type in Minivan Lee, it will come up. I promise. Yes. How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway, and it's good for SUVs, RVs, high tops, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. I know. Okay, everybody, you go out and you have a really good day. And I hope you enjoyed this. Until tomorrow, thanks for spending time with me.